Julie, temperatures are falling fast across the southern border as well, escalating the humanitarian crisis as a massive surge of migrants continues to overwhelm the area. Claudia Rodriguez is a city council representative in El Paso, Texas, and she joins us now. Claudia, you and I spoke last week about the situation there in El Paso. It was beginning at that point to reach the breaking point. Mayor Oscar Leeser over the weekend declared a state of emergency. What's the situation like there now?
Hi, good morning, John. I can't say that the situation is getting any better. I know we here as a city, we are trying to scramble and do everything that we can do. We were, with the declaration being declared so late in the game, it really gave the community, really gave our staff very little time, the state of Texas, to prepare for this. We have set up shelters at the convention center. One of the local school districts has stepped up, and they have loaned us 2 of their empty school buildings to use as shelters as well. But it's not slowing down. It's not getting any better. I was calling on the mayor to declare it, but now I really think that it is urgent that President Biden comes down here and sees the repercussions of the decisions that he has made. El Paso is a blue city. We voted for President Biden. I don't think it's fair that keeping us out of sight, out of mind is also fair for us. So he needs to come down here and really see the destruction, really see the chaos, really see people living on the streets. It's really bad. The people of El Paso should not be paying for this. And I urge President Biden to come down to El Paso to see what is happening here.
To your point on whether or not the president should come down and visit the border, here's what Arizona Senator, now independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema said yesterday. Listen here.
I absolutely think the president should visit the border. In fact, I think anyone who's responsible for setting or making policy on the border should visit the border. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right?
So let me ask you this question, Claudia. Do you believe that President Biden coming down to the border would make a difference? Or are his policies so baked in that regardless of what he saw with his own eyes, he wouldn't change?
I don't know if it would make a difference necessarily in improving the situation, but for sure he needs to see what he has done to our communities, what he has done to the state of Texas, what he has done to the entire nation. I think Senator Sinema is absolutely correct. Everybody that's in charge of making these policies, everybody that we have entrusted with our sovereignty and protecting our nation needs to be down here, needs to see what is going on. We are in an emergency. We finally declared an emergency. I don't know what more needs to happen other than you need to react. They need to react, and they need to be here, and they need to see what's going on and do things better, not only for the people of this nation, but for these migrants themselves. This is not a good situation at all.
Yeah, particularly when you got the 4 or 5 days of cold weather ahead of us here. So the Biden White House is saying to Americans, particularly in terms of Title 42, when it eventually does come off, which it will one day, trust us. We've got this handled. We've got a plan. But here's what your governor, Greg Abbott, said about that.
They've handled the border crisis and created the border crisis in the exact same way that they were responsible for creating the crisis in Afghanistan. Completely unprepared, complete disaster. And Texas is left to pick up the pieces of the disaster caused by the Biden administration.
Claudia, can you make any sense of how the president is handling the situation there?
I cannot. The governor is absolutely correct. These messes keep getting made across the world, really, by the Biden administration, and it makes zero sense. We voted for this man. We voted for this administration. You're supposed to protect us. You're supposed to be here for us in our darkest moments, and this is a dark moment for the city of El Paso. Temperatures are not this. We don't usually have this type of weather here in El Paso. Yeah. It's a lot warmer. It's really cold right now, and I don't know what else needs to happen. People are dying. Migrants are getting ran over and being killed on our highways. I don't know. It's dire. It's bad. And, I know the governor also wrote a letter to the president asking him to come down here. He needs to be down here. Immigration is a federal issue. That's his responsibility, not the city of El Paso, not the state of Texas, but yet we're having to deal with this.
Yeah, well, there are more Democrats who are issuing a call for the president to get down there and talk to folks who are on the front lines. We'll see if he does. likely not until the new year, if he even does it then. Claudia Rodriguez, good to talk to you. Thank you. Hope you get through the next few days in the cold weather all right. And Merry Christmas to you as best as you can have it.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.